We've reached Friday and the excitement is palpable. It's that time of the week again where the anticipation for the weekend builds up and all eyes are on Celtic. The upcoming match against St. Johnstone on Sunday has got everyone talking. The stakes are high and there's a belief that a certain number of wins are needed to secure the title. At the moment, it looks like Celtic might need to bag 3 more victories to seal the deal. However, there's also a possibility that 2 wins could be enough and that keeps everyone on their toes. It's a tense situation and no one is ready to take anything for granted. With the weekend fast approaching, we're all waiting to see how the team performs. We'll delve deeper into this game and discuss the analysis in a video we'll be putting out tomorrow. This week, though, it hasn't just been about the football. There's been a lot happening behind the scenes, especially when it comes to the future of the league. One of the biggest talking points has been the proposal to shrink the Premiership to just 10 teams. This would result in each team playing 36 matches a season fewer than the current format. The idea seemed like a done deal, but now reports suggest it might not be moving forward. The proposal hinges on gaining approval from a significant portion of the Premiership clubs, and it seems the support isn't as solid as first thought. The issue has been more complicated than many expected, and throughout the week the situation has changed quite a bit. With so much uncertainty in the air, it looks like the plan to reduce the league to 10 teams could be in serious doubt. As of now, the debate is far from over, and discussions have shifted towards keeping the current 12-team structure or perhaps expanding to 14 or 16 teams. A few clubs have already spoken out against the 10-team idea, arguing that it would be a mistake. At the end of this month, more meetings are scheduled, and with that, we could see further updates on how this saga will unfold. It also raises questions about how clubs like Celtic would cope with international commitments alongside a tighter domestic calendar. For Celtic, it might not make a huge difference, but for smaller clubs like St. Johnstone, it could be a challenge. There's also been talk about the possibility of keeping the current 12-team setup, or exploring alternatives such as a 14 or 16-team league. There have even been discussions around dividing the league after 2 rounds instead of 3, which would bring the total number of matches per season down to 32. But that would mean 3 fewer home games for each team, and as we all know, home matches are vital for bringing in revenue. For Celtic, the financial impact wouldn't be as severe, but for smaller clubs like St. Johnstone, it could be a real problem. Personally, I think derbies will still be great no matter how many we end up with. Even if we only face rivals a few times in a season, those games would be even more special. I'm not too worried about the derbies though. I do understand why some fans might be concerned about losing them, but as for the league itself, I would be happy with a more expansive competition, as long as it doesn't hurt the quality of football. On display, I think the current setup has its benefits, but changes in the structure of the league bring both pros and cons. On a slightly different note, there's been some buzz recently about a leaked image showing a Celtic player wearing a new kit that closely resembles the famous Bumblebee design. This design has been rumored to make a return after a 10-year absence, and many are wondering if we're about to see the return of the iconic striped jersey next season. From what I've seen, it looks like this image is the real deal. It was reportedly taken from within Celtic Park. Back in November, a well-known football league site suggested that a new Bumblebee design was in the works, and based on that, it seems like this could indeed be the kit for next season. This potential kit is a bit of a throwback, and as much as I love the idea of the Bumblebee design, there's also some nostalgia attached to it. For me, the real standout memories come from the early 90s when Celtic wore the Bumblebee kit during European matches. The 1991 design in particular stands out, and I can't help but reminisce about those away games, especially the encounters with Dutch teams. But as much as I'd love to see that specific design back, this new kit feels more like the away shirt from the 1998-99 season with its green lime green details and thin stripes. It's a familiar design, and the sponsor logo and the manufacturer are maintaining that iconic look. If I'm being honest, I was hoping for something a bit bolder maybe. A neon yellow kit with black stripes. While the current design isn't bad, I'm still holding out to see it in person before forming a final opinion. I've got a soft spot for football kits, and I'll admit I've probably gotten a bit too invested in this one. Still, I'm not totally against the new design, though I was hoping for something more striking. That being said, I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on it. Do you think the design is a letdown? Personally, I think it's pretty nice, and I'd probably buy it without hesitation. The online reaction has probably been mixed, as it often is when it comes to kit leaks, but I imagine people will warm up to it once they see it for themselves. I definitely buy it, especially with all the hype around Celtic's merchandise. In the end, a standout result on the pitch can turn everything around, especially if we're talking about a big European night or a key local derby. If we can grab a big win, even a controversial kit design won't matter much. After all, we're not talking about the shoes here. No one's really worried about the kit if we're walking away with the points. That said, I have to admit a good kit does make a difference, especially when you're talking about games that could be season defining. But even if the kit's not to everyone's taste, a big win could make all the difference. We've all seen it before. A great performance on the pitch can make any jersey look 10 times better. Celtic fans in particular are used to that feeling. Sure, there's been some talk about players wearing certain brands of shoes, but I'm confident that the excitement over the game itself will overshadow any discussions about footwear. What really matters is the match, and that's exactly what we'll be focusing on in the days to come. The team has been gearing up for the next big challenge, and no amount of kit speculation will change that. Speaking of which, as we approach the final stretch of the season, the buzz is only intensifying. Everyone is keen to see how the next match will unfold. Celtic are in a strong position, but as we know, there's always room for improvement. With the league title within reach, the goal now is to push for consistency, get those wins, and keep the momentum going. There's no room for complacency, and with St. Johnstone up next, Celtic will need to be at their best. There's still work to do, and the next few days could be crucial for their hopes of clinching the title. Let's see how they perform under pressure and how the team handles the final games of this season. The stage is set and the excitement is building. As we head into this crucial stretch of the season, the pressure is certainly building. It's clear that Celtic's next few games could determine the outcome of the league title, and with each passing week, the stakes seem higher. There's been talk about how Celtic's current lead in the table, which stands at a solid 13 points, could lead to complacency, but that's not something the team or its supporters are taking for granted. The team has been consistent, and while some recent performances have raised eyebrows, there's still a strong belief that the title is within reach. But even with a good lead, Celtic can't afford to take their foot off the gas just yet. Looking ahead to Sunday's match against St. Johnstone, there's a sense of anticipation in the air. Although St. Johnstone sits at the bottom of the table, they've shown signs of improvement under their new manager. It's always dangerous to underestimate a team in that kind of position, and Celtic know all too well that complacency can be costly. With the next opponent coming into the game with a bit of renewed energy, it'll be interesting to see how Celtic approaches this match. Even though St. Johnstone's struggles this season are well documented, they've still got a lot to play for, and Celtic will need to be at their best to get the result they're looking for. The game may be on paper a straightforward one, but as we know, anything can happen in Scottish football. After the match, all eyes will be on how the team prepares for the upcoming challenges. The title race might be in Celtic's hands, but there are still critical games ahead, and the players know they can't afford any slip-ups. It's a time when every match matters, and with the final stretch of the season underway, every performance will be scrutinized. There's no room for error, and Celtic will need to keep their focus as they march towards securing the league title. But as we know, it's not just about winning the league. Celtic have bigger ambitions, and the European competitions are still very much on the radar. The performances in the Champions League especially will be vital as the club aims to make a statement on the international stage. Switching gears a bit, let's talk about something that has been a hot topic recently: player transfers. The rumors are swirling, and with the summer window just around the corner, it's no surprise that speculation about potential signings is heating up. There's been a lot of focus on the positions that Celtic are looking to strengthen, and the midfield seems to be a key area of interest. Reports suggest that Celtic are particularly keen on signing a central midfielder with an emphasis on both defensive midfielders and players who can provide creativity in the middle of the park. There's a real need for reinforcements in this area, especially when you look at the long-term future of the squad. Celtic's midfield has been solid, but as with any successful club, there's always room for improvement. Adding a few more quality players in this area could make all the difference for the team's overall balance. One name that's been mentioned a few times in the media is Lennon Miller, and it seems like there's a growing interest in bringing him to Celtic. Reports suggest that Celtic are prepared to pay a fee of around £4 million for the young midfielder, with the potential for further add-ons if certain conditions are met. The speculation surrounding Miller has intensified in recent weeks, and it's clear that he's seen as a potential star for the future. While it's unclear whether a deal will be struck before the summer, the fact that Celtic are actively pursuing players in this position shows how seriously they're taking the need for reinforcements. It's also worth noting that the club is still actively looking for a winger to bolster the attacking options. As the transfer window draws closer, the focus will no doubt shift towards finalizing deals. Celtic have been active in the transfer market in recent seasons, and with the team continuing to perform well, it's important to build on that success. The addition of quality players could make a huge difference as Celtic look to challenge for more trophies next season. It's clear that Celtic aren't resting on their laurels. The club is always looking for ways to improve and stay ahead of the competition. The goal is not just to win the league this season, but to make the team even stronger for the future. The transfer speculation is always exciting for fans, but it's the actual signings that will determine the club's success in the coming years. Turning back to the current squad, there's been a lot of talk about the leadership in the team, especially with the captain's role being such a pivotal part of Celtic's success. Celtic's captain has been crucial to the team's performances this season, and his absence from the team has highlighted just how important he is to the squad. There's been talk about how the team has struggled in his absence, particularly in key moments during matches. His leadership on the pitch is invaluable, and it's something that Celtic can't afford to overlook as the season progresses. While other players have stepped up in his absence, it's clear that the captain's presence in the midfield is vital for Celtic's success. There's also the matter of Celtic's attacking options, which have been a topic of discussion in recent weeks. With a number of forwards in the squad, it's clear that Celtic are looking to strengthen this area of the team as well. There have been whispers of potential departures, and the club is reportedly keen to bring in a new winger who can provide more depth to the attacking options. As the summer window approaches, Celtic's strategy in this area will become clearer. The team has plenty of options up front, but there's always room for another player who can add something extra to the squad. The attacking depth is important, particularly in the context of a long season where injuries can play a significant role in determining the outcome of the campaign. In terms of who might leave the team, there have been a few names mentioned in the media, with speculation around one or two players possibly moving on. While Celtic's squad is relatively settled at the moment, there's always a chance that one or two players could depart if the right offer comes in. The club will need to carefully consider any potential moves, as each player in the squad plays an important role in the team's overall success. It's a fine balance, adding new players while maintaining the core of the squad that has been so successful in recent seasons. As we approach the final few weeks of the season, it's clear that Celtic have a lot to look forward to. The title is within reach, but there's still work to do. The team's focus will need to remain on the task at hand, and every player will need to be at their best to ensure that Celtic can close out the season with the success they've been aiming for. With the league title almost secured and the European ambition still very much alive, it's going to be an exciting few months for Celtic fans. The road ahead is filled with challenges, but with the squad's strength and determination, there's no reason why they can't achieve even greater things. So as the games keep coming, one thing is certain: Celtic will be ready to face whatever challenges lie ahead. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. In a dramatic twist, Celtic's storied history may be on the brink of yet another turning point. Sources close to the club reveal that Dermot, Desmond, the club's largest shareholder, has allegedly called for the immediate resignation of manager Rodgers. This shocking development comes amid growing frustration within the club after a string of underwhelming performances both domestically and in Europe, and follows a disappointing 7-1 loss to Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League. While Rodgers' return to Celtic in June 2023 was hailed as a moment of triumph, it appears that the club's ambitions are being threatened by a series of costly missteps. Desmond, a business magnate with vast influence over Celtic's direction, is reportedly dissatisfied with the team's inconsistency under Rodgers' leadership. Despite Celtic's strong start to the 2023-24 Scottish Premiership season, including a 4-2 win over Ross County, there has been mounting criticism after their early exit from the League Cup and the lackluster performances in the Champions League. The tension reached a boiling point following Celtic's humiliating defeat against Borussia Dortmund, with Rodgers defending his tactics, but failing to quell the storm of criticism from fans and pundits alike. Rodgers, who returned to Celtic with a guarantee of stability and long-term commitment, has found himself at the center of a media storm. His controversial comments about referees and a heated exchange with a journalist in early 2024 have only added fuel to the fire. Desmond's alleged decision to demand a managerial change marks a stark contrast to the belief that Rodgers would lead Celtic into a new era, particularly after his initial success in his first stint with the club. Yet, after the stuttering form in key competitions, questions about Rodgers' tactical approach and leadership have begun to overshadow his past accomplishments. As Celtic teeters on the edge of uncertainty, all eyes are now on Desmond's next move. The Irish businessman, known for his no-nonsense approach to leadership, may be preparing to make a bold statement by forcing Rodgers out. Whether this leads to a managerial change or simply a power struggle behind the scenes, one thing is clear: Celtic's future direction is at a crossroads, and Desmond's influence will be crucial in determining the club's next steps. Hello, fam. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.